black and silver trim, blue helmets, white jerseys, blue pants, and white socks. Referees tonight, Steven Strzomski, Jonathan Langiel on the line, Stephen Clark, and Dave Ivey. As we are going to see if we can patch through an important announcement here from Rob McNamara. As they're honoring really sad news earlier this week. The passing of Mickey Fahey was an off-ice official here at Center 200, and you probably recognize Mickey's voice as well, as he would often fill in for Dave LeBlanc as public address announcer. And it certainly took me by great surprise learning this coming into the building, and the nice photo of Mickey that they have of Mickey up on the screen. And again, just going to be very strange not seeing him around Center 200, as you know, he was a staple up here in the press box. Had worked here for a number of years, an off-ice official, as said, also would occasionally fill in as a public address announcer. Just a great guy, Mickey, and definitely will be missed here at Center 200 and around the CBRM as the fans at Center 200 honor Mickey with a moment of silence. Cassidy Raleigh singing us into tonight's game as the Eagles getting ready to take on the Sea Dogs, looking for a different result than last night. As I mentioned, they're trying to channel what happened opening weekend in St. John when St. John won the first game of the season. But the Eagles punched back with a victory the following night. So that's the template the Eagles are looking to follow. Same goaltenders tonight. Eagles going back to Felix Hamel. The Sea Dogs going back to Raphael Courchain. Same players unavailable due to injury for the Eagles. No Thomas Lavoie, no Will Murphy, no Etienne Letelier. Derek Andrews also out of the lineup. The Sea Dogs are missing William Yared tonight. He is unavailable, so they had to shake things up a little bit. They made a couple changes. Alexi Gauthier jumps into the lineup as a result of Yared's absence. So the Eagles will look to get off to a better start. Although last night, actually, the first period, the Eagles outshot the Sea Dogs and had chances. I don't think that wasn't necessarily a period the Eagles would have looked back on poorly had the end game turned out differently. But it was a tough night last night. The Eagles looking to rebound. Steven Strzomski, Jonathan Langiel, the official Stephen Clark, and Dave Ivey on the lines. We're underway. Sea Dogs take possession. Puck coming into the Eagles zone, chasing after it's Della Durante. He's being watched by Grew. Along the right side, Fullerton tried to get it. Now Romeo will take possession. Puck comes back to McCullough. Here's Aiden McCullough ripping it in. It's over the net. Puck comes back around to the half boards for Klaus. Now Rossi will take it the other way. Rossi will move the puck to Wasmer. Back to Rossi. Good back check there by Klaus to get the puck. The Eagles trying to break out. Della Durante sends it along for Klaus. Klaus will skate up the right side of the ice into the St. John zone. He goes, and a save made by the goaltender Courchain. He'll cover for a faceoff. Eagles this year 0-1-1 in Strzomski games. 9 power plays, 8 penalties. The Eagles saw Langell once this season in the game against Chicoutimi. They had 5 power plays in that game, 7 penalty kills, and didn't score any power play goals, didn't allow any in that particular game. Face-off will be to the right here of Corshane. Jean Draw will take the draw for the Eagles against Dubé. 2-assist game last night for Dubé. Draw 1 by the Eagles. Puck comes in, shot by Jettleson, didn't arrive on net. Now it'll come out over center into the Eagles zone. 19-17 remaining here, first period just getting going. Eagles and set the Sea Dogs, no score. Puck comes up and out of play. That was Jettleson was trying to play it off the boards and hit somebody on the way and went in a play. Halloween theme night tonight at the Nest. Nice to see some people in costume. I believe Member 2 had actually issued a statement that kids could go trick-or-treating tonight because of expected poor weather tomorrow. And I think I did see some kids in costumes on the streets on the drive here. Draw 1 by St. John. Hopefully everybody was staying safe regardless of what night they choose to trick-or-treat. Puck comes along the sideboards. Now comes back to the point for Duhamel. Duhamel will shoot. It'll be blockered out there by Hamel. Puck comes to Villain now. Villain will send it back out over center. Of course, people remember to would have been multitasking. Obviously ready to go into an Eagles game on any night. More enthusiasm with Jack Skinnish in the lineup. He hails from Member 2. He's playing his 3rd Eagles game tonight. Here's Duhamel coming into the Eagles zone. He's blocked by Della Durante. Della Durante will skate up towards center into the St. John zone. Fullerton has it now. He's being checked closely there by Peitsch. Duhamel being pressured there by Rocca. Now Fullerton will take it along their right side. Fullerton will move the puck up to Beaulieu. Hartland's got it for the Eagles. Jacob Hartland will peel back and then forward. He'll dump the puck into the St. John zone. Hartland may have been the Eagles' best forward last night. I liked his game, had some chances. Puck comes back along the sideboards in the Sea Dog zone. Now Della Durante will rip the puck in. Puck comes behind the goal. Villain picks it up for St. John. Villain throws the puck into the neutral zone. Beaulieu will get a stick on it. Puck comes behind the net. Hamel rims it along the wall as Pilling will skate up towards center. Pilling coming in over the blue line. Up the right wing he goes. Play behind the net. Corshane watching as it comes back to Baldwin. Baldwin along the left side. Puck comes to the half boards. Therefore, McCullough. Now Pilling on the attack for the Eagles. Here's Rory Pilling. He'll do a little loop around Zubek. Puck comes behind the net as Shaw has it for the Eagles. Hugo Shaw holding. He'll be pushed off the puck by Fullerton. Fullerton moves the puck to Beaulieu. Beaulieu will move it along the right side. Puck glove there by Ginnish. Jack Skinnish pushing along the left side. Lost the puck to Baldwin. Baldwin's going to join us coming up in the intermission. Here's Oliver's Murnix coming up the left wing. He peels back. He's got the puck on the half wall, and he'll cycle it down the left side. Ginnish has it behind the net. Here's Ginnish up the left boards, excuse me. Play here in the Eagles zone. Puck comes back to Duhamel down the right side as Zach Morin, who had a shorthanded goal last night, being checked by Ginnish. 2 number 10s going at it along the side wall there. Coming up on the 3-minute mark here. Shots 1-1, no score. Puck comes to Sharon. Sharon is thrown to the boards. Or looked like it was going to be thrown to the boards by Croteau. He's able to get it up to Boyer, who dumps it into the Sea Dog zone. Now Duhamel will do a little loop around behind the net. Olivier Duhamel, the 18-year-old defenseman, former second-round pick, will push it along the left side. Puck comes back now into neutral territory. Into the Eagles zone. Jettleson had it, lost it, gets it back. Jettleson will go skating behind the net. 19-year-old commit to the College of Holy Cross. Goalie interference penalty coming up against the Sea Dogs. Jettleson coming in over the blue line into the Sea Dog zone. Here's Jettleson. He'll shoot, save it. Rebound! And they score! The Eagles take a 1-0 lead of the delayed penalty. Johnny on the spot in front of the goal. And it's going to be a first goal, it looks like. As it's Adam Close tinging the twine for the first time. And boy, he's been waiting a long time for that one. Adam Close, Johnny on the spot in front. Go to the blue paint and get rewarded. And it starts Jettleson rushing the puck up the right side. Sharp angle shot. Close in front, jamming away. Somebody grab the puck for Adam Close. Congratulations, he's got his first in the queue. And the Eagles take a 1-0 lead. That's a monkey off the back. I know Adam Close wanted that goal badly. He's got it. And the Eagles lead 1-0. Eagles 2-2-2 this year when they score first. St. John 5-3 when they allow first. Puck comes to Gendron. So delayed penalty, and the Eagles do cash in. Puck comes out over center into the St. John zone. Wasmer being checked closely there by Gendron. Now comes back around for Rossi. Rossi sends it up the ice as Grew will drop it for Fullerton. Jettleson draws the assist. Here's L'Italien. He'll send it over to Gendron. Gendron, a shot. The puck will go up into the netting behind Corshane. Adam Klaus is first as the Eagles up 1-0. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200 where the Eagles lead 1-0. Adam Klaus, first goal of his Q career. Puck comes now to Soche behind the net. Max Soche has family in attendance this week. Puck thrown to Romeo. Romeo on the rebound. A save made by Corshane. Now Soche has it. Soche sends it back to the point. Just kept in by McCullough. Coming along the left side. Puck behind the net now. Here's Dubé with it for the Sea Dogs. Soche takes possession. Soche moves it there for Klaus. He'd love another one. Puck comes back to McCullough. McCullough, shot. Puck will friddle wide of the goal. Soche picks it up behind the net. Soche will move the puck to Romeo. Romeo has it. He'll send it back to McCullough. McCullough off the end boards as Villain takes possession. Villain along the wall for Beveridge. Now Romeo sends it back to Brody. Brody along the left side for Soche. Soche pushed off the puck by Villain. Puck comes along the right side. Brody down the wall there for Klaus. Klaus now for Soche. Soche will throw it up to the front of the net. Rebound in front. Klaus has got another one. Adam Klaus's second career goal. Just 5:03 into the game. What a night for that young man. Hey, why not keep that puck too? Drives to the net, almost the same spot. Top of the blue paint for the first one, in the blue paint for the second one. And the Eagles lead 2-0. And it was a really strange play. Soche tried to make a pass from behind the net. He was trying to find Klaus, who would have been in the same spot as he scored the first one, essentially, at the top of the blue paint. The puck took a bounce off of Corshane and out in front of the goal. And Klaus puts it over the Sea Dogs goaltender. And Adam Klaus, wow, what a turn of events this is. Last night, Everett Baldwin, the Sea Dogs defenseman, scored his first 2 goals in the same game. And the Eagles, the same. I believe that Sea Dogs calling a timeout there. It didn't look like there was much communication from Travis Crickard. I think that was just sit in stunned silence for 30 seconds and think about what you've just done. Adam Klaus, a pair of goals. And the Eagles lead at 2-0. What a start. Well, for the whole team, but in particular, Adam Klaus. Face-off will come at center as Murnix will take the draw against Rocca. Draw won by St. John. Baldwin will move it back for Zubik. Murnix dumps it into the Eagles zone. Here's Morin. Lost the puck to Kupek. Kupek ends up turning it over. Puck comes back to Murnix. Back to the point now. Baldwin will take possession. There's a shot by Donovan. It'll go wide now. Morin. He'll slide it along the left side. Murnix has got it behind the net. Murnix ends up turning it over to Peich. Now comes to Kupek. Kupek behind the goal. He'll fire it up the right side. Puck comes out to neutral territory. Now into the St. John zone. Baldwin will skate behind the net. He'll move it along for Zubek. Zubek takes possession. He'll throw it along the right side. Pilling down the left side. Now Donovan will take possession for St. John. Donovan will skate up over the blue line. Puck comes to Jettleson. Jettleson behind the net. He'll along the right side. Soche and Brody draw assists on the goal. Here's Pilling coming up the left wing. He'll feed the front of the net. Boyer a chance and a save. Pilling the rebound. He scores. Monkey off the back. Rory Pilling's got his first in the queue. Keep that puck. Rory Pilling gets it done and the Eagles lead 3-0. A first period. A first 7 minutes for the ages here at the Nest. Rory Pilling, what a drive. He tried to set up Boyer, and Pilling gets the rebound and puts it over the goaltender, Corshane, and the Eagles are off and running, and that's going to spell the end of the night for Raphael Corshane. Rory Pilling, oh boy, look at the smile on Rory's face. That was a long time coming. We talked about it in the pregame show. He's been an effective player for the Eagles, killing penalties And he's had hard luck now. Oh, boy. Hold the phone, though, literally and figuratively. They are looking now. I always say if I don't know what they're looking at, maybe they're looking for an offside. Oh, boy. What a cruel twist this would be if Rory Pilling thought he had his first goal and it was taken back, especially after Klaus just got his first 2 goals. But it looks like that review was done quickly. And it's no goal. Oh, no. Rory Pilling made such a nice play to Boyer. Pilling found Boyer in front of the net. Boyer was denied, and Pilling comes back. So we're going to wait for the official announcement. So if you're just joining us, Adam Klaus scoring his first 2 goals in the queue, and Rory Pilling in the elation scores his first, but it's overturned on an offside. So first and foremost, have to feel gutted for Rory Pilling, although also kind of feel bad for Raphael Corshane. He was pulled because of the 3rd goal, and then the goal gets overturned, but Justin Robinson remains in the net. So that one's going to look a little weird on the score sheet as McCullough will move the puck along the wall as Brody tries to clear, comes back to the point. Shot goes off the high glass. Dubé ends up turning it over. Roman L'Italiano moving along the right side for Gendron. Gendron will feed Burke. Here's Burke coming up the right wing. Burke now comes back for Crayer. Crayer will take possession for the Sea Dogs. He'll skate up to center, dumping it into the Eagles zone. Now it comes to Kupek. 7 minutes into this first period, Eagles lead 2-0 on a pair of goals by Adam Klaus. As Fullerton will move the puck along the right side for Rossi. Looks for Fullerton. Puck comes in the corner. Fullerton now moves the puck to Rossi. Rossi being hounded by Soche. Grew will move the puck down for Grew. Grew behind the net. Puck comes down to Fullerton. Fullerton will send the puck forward. Puck comes back to Klaus. Klaus lost it. Grew goes chasing after it as he'll send it back to Duhamel. Duhamel rips it into the corner. Chasing after it's Rossi. Now play behind the net. It'll come to Klaus. Klaus had it briefly play in the Eagles zone, and the puck goes out of play. An eventful start to this one. Eagles lead 2-0. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Adam. And I'm trying to remember. I was having a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago about the Eagles, and they predicted that Adam Klaus was going to get 2 goals in his next game. And I don't remember what game that would have been. A little late, but he does get 2 goals in his first game. Then he gets a goal. So, big night for Adam Klaus. And a cruel twist of fate. Rory Pilling thinking he had his first goal, and then it ends up getting disallowed. And a bit of an oddity in there, too, is that after Pilling had allegedly scored that goal, St. John making a goaltending change, and then despite the goal not counting, they didn't rescind the goaltending change. So Justin Robinson in net now for St. John. Face-off will be won by the Eagles. Jettleson will skate along the right side. He'll move the puck now for Della Durante, dumped into the St. John zone. Duhamel will move it to Villain. Now Romeo will take possession. Duhamel has the puck behind the net. He'll move it along the right side. Puck comes down to Della Durante. Della Durante along the wall. Now Duhamel takes possession. He'll skate back towards his own zone. Moves it back for Villain. Villain now for Donovan. Donovan will skate up over center over the blue line into the Eagle zone. Pass to the sideboards. Moran Murnix pass in front. What a save made by Hamel. As parked in front was Donovan. Couldn't tap it in. Puck comes back now to Peich. He'll skate over center. Up the left side of the ice it goes. Comes back now to Morin. Villain will skate up over center, dumping it wide of the goal. Hamel will hand it off to Ginnish behind the net. Jack Ginnish, 3rd QMJHL game for him. He's got the puck behind the net. He'll skate over his own blue line. He'll rip it into the corner. As Wasmer's got it behind the net. Wasmer up the wall there for Fullerton. Fullerton being pressured. He'll send it across. Now Wasmer over center over the blue line into the Eagles zone. He'll try to feed. Gauthier being checked there by Rocca. Now Wasmer jumps into the play on the half wall. He'll hold. Sends it across. Comes for Beaulieu. Shot save. Puck will go to the corner. As Chartrand being checked. It'll come back along the other side of the ice. 10:48 remaining here in the first period. The Eagles lead the Sea Dogs 2-0. First 2 career goals for Adam Klaus. Puck comes back to the point. Therefore, Wasmer rung along the low boards. Now comes out in front. Chance for Fullerton, and he scores. Angelo Fullerton back at center 200. Finds himself alone between the hash marks. Rips it over Felix Hamel. And the former Eagles got one against his old team. That's going to make it 2-1. And that's a big goal for the Sea Dogs. And I have to say the Sea Dogs came out of that video review and really responded well. It was like that third goal ended up acting as a warning shot. And there was a battle between Guinish and I believe Beaulieu behind the net. And Beaulieu had lost his footing, but somehow got the puck out in front to Fullerton, the former Eagle. And Angelo Fullerton tings the twine. A meaningful one for him, I'm sure. Play back underway. Jettleson a shot wide of the net. As that was the 4th of the season for Fullerton. Puck comes back to the point for Jettleson. Jettleson now for Browdy. Browdy back to Jettleson. Jettleson deep into St. John territory. Roman Letallier will move the puck along for Burke. Burke tries to send it back for Browdy. Browdy a shot wide of the net. Now chasing after Gendron. Oh, looked like he was going to try the Michigan, but didn't quite get it up to the front of the net. Puck comes now Roman Letallier being checked by Zubek. Now Gendron pass in front for Burke. A save made. I mean, he was trying to get his first in the queue. Jettleson a shot. A save made by Robinson. Everything happening here at Center 200. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at Center 200, where the Eagles lead the St. John Sea Dogs by a score of 2-0. Face-off will come out in front of the St. John goaltender, Justin Robinson. Draw one by the Eagles. Sea Dogs get possession, though. Puck will come back as Fullerton. 2-1, sorry. Fullerton just scoring for St. John, so 2-1 the score. Puck comes now. Fullerton just cutting the lead in half moments ago there before break. Puck comes now to Klaus. Klaus will send it across for Soche. So many goals coming and going, I can't even keep track. Soche will bring it along the left side. Lost the puck. And play was knocked down with a puck was knocked down with a high stick. So again, if you're just joining us, Adam Klaus, 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of the game. Rory Pilling looked to have scored his first goal. It was called back, but the Sea Dogs had already made a goaltending change by the time they called the goal back. And then St. John gets one back. Face-off will be in the neutral zone. Grew and Pilling take the draw. Draw one by the Eagles. Kupek sends it over to Jettleson. Jettleson will dump it in wide of the net. It'll go wide of Robinson. Now Baldwin has it. He lost it just as quickly to Pilling. Oh, Rory Pilling's probably playing some pretty inspired hockey at the moment. Kupek shoots it wide of the net. Puck comes now to Jettleson. Jettleson fans on it. Kupek will take possession. Eagles lead 2-1 as we're about 11 minutes into what has been a very eventful first period. Here's Pilling. Was very wary to not touch that puck because it would have been offside. He knows all about that based on what has happened thus far in the first period. Puck comes now for Croteau. He'll drop it back, turned over to Charron. Charron now to Pilling. Pilling shot. Scores! That's not coming back! No way! Rory Pilling's got his first for real! Keep the puck! Rory Pilling, for the second time this period, scores the first goal of his QMJHL career! You couldn't script this stuff, folks! Rory Pilling tings the twine. A beautiful feed from Charron. A beautiful finish for Rory Pilling like he'd done it 100 times before. And the Eagles lead 3-1. What a moment and what a first period for Rory Pilling. Face-off coming at center. As the draw is won by St. John. Puck comes now into the Sea Dog zone. Wasmer with it. He's being trailed by Burke. Now Chartrand will take possession. Lost the puck to Burke. Maybe he can get his first. Everyone else is getting in on the fun here. Puck comes down. Robin L'Italien. First, Blake Burke, 4 assists in his last 4 games, so he has been contributing. Puck comes back to Morin. Off the boards. Puck coming now to Browdy. Browdy along the wall. McCullough will send it to Burke. Burke trying to fade the front to Gendron. Chartron will move it up for Donovan. Donovan coming into the Eagles zone. Kupak as play along the wall. Burke trying to move it to L'Italien. As puck coming deep into the St. John zone. Puck comes now onto the stick for Murnix as Donovan dumps it in. Puck comes deep into the Eagles zone. Beaulieu and Gauthier drawing the assist on the Fullerton goal. Chiron draws the assist on the Pilling goal. Puck comes into the St. John zone. Robinson rims it along looking for Fullerton. Fullerton up the left side. Duhamel takes possession. He's got Gauthier driving the net. Duhamel, a shot, save made. Puck will go off the high glass. Jettelson trying to move it for Peich. Chance in front for Fullerton again. Eagles lead 3-1 here. Villain takes possession. 7:29 left in the first. Puck comes back out to the front. Rocca with it for the Eagles now. Rocca will skate up over center. Into the St. John zone he goes. Rocca being watched there by Duhamel. Now Hartland has it for the Eagles. Hartland skating back to the point now. Klaus jumping in. A shot. Save made. Covered up there by Robinson. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. $12.70 CJCB. Thank you, Rory, and congratulations to Rory on his first goal in the QMJHL. He thought he had it earlier in the period, was called back on an offside, but he was able to ting the twine for real, and the Eagles lead 3-1. Coming up at the intermission, we're going to talk to Everett Baldwin, who scored his first 2 goals in the Q last night, St. John Sea Dogs defenseman. We'll talk to him about that. We'll talk about coming to the Q from the USHL, talk about being drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning, committed to Providence College, and more. Everett Baldwin will join us at the intermission. Eagles lead 3-1, 5:13 to go in what has been a fascinating first period. Shots 10-6 in favor of the Eagles. Faceoff will be out in front of Robinson. It's going to be to his left, as Murnix and Gendron will take the draw. Gendron waved out. Roman Letalien will come in. The draw won by the Eagles. Puck comes back to Jettleson now for Gendron. He'll shoot wide of the net. Here's Browdy stepping in at the side of the goal as Burke lost the puck. It'll come back along the wall now. Here's Donovan with it. He'll skate up towards center. Puck coming into the Eagles zone, and it'll be icing against St. John with 4:55 to go. Eagles are next in action next Friday, a rare week off. The Eagles will play their next game Friday, November 7th, their first ever visit to the Newfoundland Regiment. Puck drop at 6:30 Atlantic time. That's right, 6:30. Get used to that when you go over to Newfoundland. Well, the pregame at around 6:30. Again, the Eagles taking on Newfoundland Friday, November 7th. First ever game between the Eagles and the Regiment. Draw won by St. John. Now Browdy will jump into the play. Browdy tries to send it back, being checked by Murnix. Murnix moves the puck forward. Donovan with it now for the Eagles. Donovan along the right side as Morin will fire the puck into the corner. Browdy moves it along the wall. Gendron digging in. Murnix has got it. Murnix taken down. That's going to be a penalty. First penalty of the game as Jettleson will touch the puck. Not the first penalty call of the game. The Eagles were going to go to the power play before their first goal, but then they scored, which negated the penalty. This will be a penalty. It'll be, I believe, tripping against Louis Gendron. So St. John will go to the power play. Sea Dogs power play 15th in the queue at 15.9%. Eagles penalty kill 3rd in the queue at 86.7%. Face-off will be to the right of Hamel, as the draw will be between Letalien and Grew. Letalien has McCullough, Peitsch, Kupek out there with him. Grew wins the draw to Murnix. Donovan Duhamel out there, as well as Rossi. Here's a chance for Grew in front. Rossi, the side of the net, couldn't reel it in. Rossi behind the net. Dylan Rossi, 6 goals on the season, most on the Sea Dogs. Eagles get the puck, and it's fired down the ice. Out of the net to play it is the goaltender, Robinson. Now Duhamel coming up the right side. Duhamel legs his way over center. Over the blue line into the Eagles zone. Kupek now for McCullough. Play in the Eagles end. 1:30 left in the Gendron minor. As McCullough lost the puck. Now it'll come for Duhamel. He'll send it back to the point for Murnix. Murnix now for Rossi. Rossi holding. He'll move the puck there for Grew. Shot off McCullough's skate and off the end boards. Sea Dogs get possession. He'll come to the half wall for Murnix. Murnix moves the puck there in front for Donovan. Jamming away. Save made. A couple of saves made there by the goaltender Hamel. Now Duhamel takes possession at the point. He'll move it for Rossi. 1:02 left in the penalty. Eagles lead 3-1. St. John on the first power play of the game for either side. Here's Murnix. Left circle. Shooting and a save made. Rebound. Oh, and it's on the line. Grew a shot somehow. Hamel saved that. I have no idea how he was able to pick that puck out of the air, but he did. And Felix Hamel makes the stop. And the Eagles remain in a 3-1 lead. And on the power play are the Sea Dogs for another 53 seconds. As the face-off will be to the left here of the Eagles goaltender, Felix Hamel. Grew will take the draw against Roman Letalien. Draw won by the Eagles. Puck will come back for Duhamel. Duhamel now holding. He'll make the play for Rossi. Back to Duhamel. Tees it up. It's blocked. A nice shot block there by Letalien. Puck comes back for Duhamel. Duhamel will move the puck there for Murnix. Murnix lost the puck, and now it'll come down the ice. As Robinson will take possession. He'll send it back behind the net for Villain. Max Villain will skate up towards his own blue line. He'll move it forward as Morin dumps it into the Eagles zone. Play behind the net. Della Durante with it. Jettleson battling Morin as well. As Jettleson will push the puck up off the glass and out of play. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey. 1270 CJCB. Face-off will be to the right here of Felix Amel. As 9 seconds left in the Jean Draw minor, 2:41 left in the period. Eagles lead 3-1. Fullerton will send it back to the point for Villain. Now Morin has it. You hear the stick banging. That means the penalty is about to come to an end. As Chartrand has it for St. John's. Chartrand, a shot, scores! A rising shot from Cameron Chartrand, his second of the season. And that's not going to go down as a power play goal, but kind of is, I guess, in a way. Chartrand rips it over the shoulder of Amel. Nice, well-placed shot into the corner there by the St. John defenseman. As he was pretty much at the top of the circle. A riser evades Felix Amel, and it's 3-2. We've seen just about everything in this first period. As face-off will come at center. No power play goals, but we have seen a team scored on a delayed penalty and a team score just after a power play. Face-off will be at center. Dubé and Soche take the draw. Draw won by St. John. Baldwin sends it along. Croteau down the ice. And that'll be icing against the Sea Dogs. Coming up at the intermission, we're going to have Sweet Talk with Cape Breton Eagles assistant coach Adam Pilote. We'll talk about his favorite actors, setting off fire alarms, honoring his friend, and more coming up at the intermission. Sweet Talk with Adam Pilote. We'll get a little baseball talk in there, too, with the World Series, of course, in progress. The Jays have a chance to wrap it up tomorrow. I was getting some ribbing from somebody yesterday about not wearing blue in support of the Blue Jays. Can't do that. Eagles are playing the Sea Dogs. Can't wear the other team's colors. I don't have many fashion rules, but that's one of them. Draw one by St. John. Croteau will send it over to Beveridge. He'll turn it over. Here's a chance for Soche. A shot, a save made. Romeo buzzing around. Play deep in the Sea Dog zone. Klaus has got it behind the net now. He's bought it along the boards. Puck will come back now for Beaulieu. Deep into Eagle territory it goes. Jettleson goes chasing after it. Jettleson rims it along the wall. Now Romeo takes possession. He'll drop it back for Browdy. Browdy, he'll move the puck to Soche. Soche dumping it into the St. John end. Baldwin along the left side. Beveridge to Dubé. As puck comes back to Soche, lost it. Morin and Villain draw assist on the Chartrand goal. Here is Baldwin. Throws it towards the front of the net. Roman Letallier will try to spring Burke. Here's Burke coming in one-on-one against Wasmer. He'll shoot wide of the net. Puck will come dribbling in, and Robinson will cover for a face-off with 1:24 to go here in the opening period. Reminder to Eagles fans, whenever the Eagles are on home ice, you can purchase 50/50 tickets anywhere in the province. Go to eagles5050.ca, and you can purchase your tickets. Currently, the jackpot, the winner would take home at least $1,300. So $1,300 minimum for the winner. Eagles5050.ca. Ticket sales go into the third period. Eagles win the draw. McCullough will send it over to Deladorante. A shot save made. Puck will go to the corner. Now Jean Draw for Burke. Burke lost it as the puck come to Rossi. He'll skate over center. Eagles lead 3-2 here in a very eventful first period. Deladorante up the right side there for Roman Letallier. Letallier up for Burke. Burke coming in over center. He'll move it along the left side. Jean Draw goes chasing after it. Into the final minute of the period. Now Letallier has it for the Eagles. Throws it in front for Deladorante. A save made. Puck will come back now for Wasmer. Rossi, possible 3-on-1 here for St. John. Grew's got Fullerton driving the net. Grew keeps a shot. Save made by Hamel. Fullerton has the puck behind the net. He's being checked there by Deladorante. He'll send it back to Duhamel. Duhamel now for Wasmer for Duhamel. 37 seconds left in the period. Fullerton tees it up. It's over the goal. Puck comes now for Wasmer, rimming it along the boards. Puck comes to Fullerton. Now behind the net. Kupek will take possession. Kupek up the wall it goes. As Roman Letallier will hustle over center with 23 seconds left in the period. Puck comes now to Duhamel. Someone's lost their stick. It's just lying on the face-off circle as Duhamel will skate by said stick and over center. 12 seconds left in the period. Mironix is after it. 8 seconds left now. Don't know if you realize how little time is left. Morin after it. 5 seconds left in the period. Play deep in the Eagles zone. Morin on the sideboards. Holding, and he's going to skate out the period. As when Nicholas Ruccia used to play for Cape Breton, he would tap the stick at the end of the period, just like you see goalies do at the end of a penalty. Never understood why goaltenders don't do that when a period is coming to an end. For Zach Morin, that would have been very helpful there to know that the period was coming to an end. The Eagles do lead 3-2 after 20 minutes. Here, listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Okay. Time now for the period recap. Lots to tell you about. Adam Klaus's first 2 career goals got the party started. Noah Jedelson, the assist on the first one at 3:34, came on a delayed penalty. Then Klaus didn't have to wait long for his next one. Maxime Sochi and Jack Browdy, the assist at 5:13, made it 2-0. The Sea Dogs would get on the board. Angelo Fullerton's 4th of the year from Jacob Beaulieu and Alexi Gauthier at 9:25. This came after a disallowed goal that would have been Rory Pilling's first. But no matter, Rory Pilling scores for real. His first in the queue from Hugo Charon at 11:08 gave the Eagles a 3-1 lead. The Sea Dogs would counter Cameron Chartron's second of the season from Zachary Mora and Max Villan at 17:33. Eagles lead 3-2 after 1. Power play, Sea Dogs go 0 for 1. No power plays for the Eagles, although again they did score on a delayed penalty. Faceoffs were 15-7 in favor of St. John. Hits were 9-4 in favor of the Sea Dogs. Individual numbers from that opening period. Alex Donovan and Olivier Groux, each 3 dangerous shots on nets for the Sea Dogs. Oliver's Murnix winning 3 of 5 draws. Olivier Groux winning 6 of 7 draws for the Sea Dogs. Patrick Zubik with 3 hits. For the Eagles, 4 shots on net for Adam Klaus, 3 of them considered dangerous. Louis Gendron winning 4 of his 8 faceoffs, 2 hits for Samuel Kupek. That's what it looks like after 20 minutes. When we come back, we'll take a look around the league. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.
Between play that we cherish the most. In sport, it's all about moments. The big ones and small. Moments of glory and those of defeat. Moments of connection. Moments of embrace. Moments of challenges, guidance, and determination. Moments that shape us. The thrill of these moments is undeniable, but it's often the moments between play that we cherish the most.
Mobile family share plans from Eastlink make it easy to add members and save money for getting what they need and what you want.
So what made you write into Eastlink?
Honestly, it was the service, but the big one for me, every time he came in, he took off his shoes at the door.
For real?
And that, for real. I want to take her home.
And we just got underway here. Eagles win the opening draw to start the second period. Puck coming into the St. John zone. Eagles lead 3-2. Eagles in black skating left to right in your dial in period 2. Here's Klaus setting it in front. A chance at a save made there by Robinson. Puck comes down into the Eagles zone. Morant is after it against McCullough. Now Deladorante will skate up the left side. Eagles 2-0 this year when they lead after 1. St. John 1-3 when they trail after 1. Puck comes in, save made by the Sea Dogs goaltender. Romeo now behind the net, looking for Soche. Soche back to Jedelson. Jedelson cross there for Brody. He'll shoot. Puck will come into the sideboards. As now Romeo has it for the Eagles. Romeo trying to move it to Soche. Comes back behind the net. Jedelson jumps into the play. Jedelson will shoot. Puck comes across the other side now for Roman Letalien. Through the first minute of the second period, Eagles lead 3-2. Eventful first period. And the puck comes down the ice, chasing after it's Brody. That will be icing against the Sea Dogs. Eagles have scored 13 and allowed 13 in the second period this year. St. John has been outscored 18-14 in period number 2 this season. Face-off will come out in front of the St. John goal as Justin Robinson coming in relief as the draw won by the Eagles. Jedelson will take possession. He'll send it off the end boards. It'll go to Villain. Villain will skate up the left wing. Being checked by Roman Letalien. Letalien now trying to wrap it around. He'll hold it in the left circle. He'll shoot. It's blocked on its way to the net. Jedelson will pick it up. Jedelson down the right side. Now it comes back to Roman Letalien behind the net. Letalien holds. He'll send it back to Jedelson. Jedelson now a shot towards the goal. Puck along the side wall here. As behind the net, Gendra will move it along the boards. Comes back to neutral territory. Comes into neutral ice, and it's dumped into the Eagles zone. Puck comes now down the ice, and that'll be icing against the Eagles. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200, face off in front of the Eagles goal as Gendra will take the draw against Grew. Draw won by the Eagles. Jedelson will clear the zone. Wasmer dumps it into the Eagles' end. Is chasing after. It's Jedelson. Jedelson now moves the puck to Gendra. Fullerton jumps in on the half wall. And play blown down on a glove pass with 17:49 remaining here in period number 2. The Eagles lead 3-2 early in the second period. Face-off will come in the neutral zone. Coming up at the intermission, going to be joined live by Cape Breton Post reporter Jeremy Fraser, who's been a regular on the broadcast this year. He was getting perennially bumped because we kept having so many injured players that we wanted to feature on the radio. We're thankful not only because we like talking to Jeremy, because it means we're not having as many injured players, although the Eagles still missing some players tonight as the puck goes out of play. Don't want to overwork the guys, though, so once they get in their one interview, we'll let them go. So I know Elliot Letalien, Will Murphy, and Thomas Lavoie out of the lineup. Hoping to have them back sooner rather than later. But look forward to talking to Jeremy about the first 40 minutes. Coming up at the intermission, face-off will be to the left ear of Hamel, as Peich will take the draw against Grew. As we await the puck to be dropped. As it is, and the Sea Dogs will take possession. Fullerton along the right side. Now Grew will move it back to Chartron. Chartron will watch as it comes back for Wasmer. Wasmer bounces it off the boards. Now Grew drops it back for Wasmer. Wasmer will skate up over center. Coming in over the blue line. Wasmer dangling towards the front of the net. He'll shoot wide of the goal. Peich takes possession. Peich sends it back for Rocca. Rocca coming in over center and over the blue line. He'll shoot. It's blocked by Grew. Now play along the wall. It'll come to Grew again. He ends up turning it over. Boyer buzzing around. Boyer will send the puck to Hartland. Hartland takes possession. He'll end up firing it from the blue line. Now Pilling's got it. Pilling a shot into the corner. McCullough jumping into the play. As that'll come along the wall for Boyer. Sends it back to McCullough. Top right circle. He'll shoot. Save made there by Robinson, blockered into the corner. Ginnish puts it wide of the net. Now McCullough jumps into the play in the half wall. He'll shoot. Robinson will cover for a faceoff at 16:38 to go here in the second period. The Eagles lead by a score of 3-2. Adam Klaus's first 2 goals of his Q career. Rory Pilling's first for the Eagles. Fullerton and Chartron for St. John. Reminder, Eagles fans, you can be the fan of the game all season long on 1270 AM CJCB. Listen for the keyword and text that word to 902-595-3320. Tonight's word is Halloween, in honor of Halloween being tomorrow. Text that to 902-595-3320. You could win a $15 gift card from Luann's Cafe. Draw one by St. John. Puck will come all the way down the ice. Out of the net to play to Hamel. He'll rim it along the boards. Here's Sharon with it up the right side. As Zubek coming in along the right side. Crayer moves it. Jettleson will take possession. He'll throw it across for Brody. Now Jettleson with it. He'll skate into the St. John zone. He'll shoot. It's deflected into the corner as Zubek will take the puck behind the net. 16:04 remaining here in the second period of play. Dubé will bring it over center. Puck comes into the Eagles zone. Now Jettleson's after it. He'll move the puck to Brody. Comes back out to the blue line. Zubek had it. It comes to Dubé. Dubé coming in on the right side. He's being checked by Klaus. Dubé taken down. Play behind the Eagles net. It'll be Jettelson scooping it up, skating along the right side. Jettelson will fire the puck to Brody. Brody now comes out to Zubek into the Eagles zone. And that'll be icing against St. John with 15:31 to go in the period. Eagles will get an offensive zone draw. Out in front of Justin Robinson. As the Eagles will next be in action on the road. They'll get a rare week off. Friday, November 7th, the Eagles next in action against the Newfoundland Regiment. First ever meeting between the Eagles and the Regiment. Again, that's Friday, November 7th. We'll have the puck drop at 6:30 because of the half-hour time difference. So 6:30 puck drop pregame at 6. The Eagles visit the Regiment for the first time ever, Friday, November 7th. Play in the Sea Dog zone. Fullerton ends up turning it over. Looking forward to getting over to St. John's as Fullerton lost the puck to Close. Play blown down, and the face-off will come in the neutral zone. I didn't get to see the Fog Devils play at home when they were in the Q. Obviously saw them play in this building a number of times. But personally did get to a St. John's Maple Leafs game their last year in the AHL. They played the Edmonton Roadrunners in the 04-05 season. So I'm assuming the building will have changed quite a bit since I was last over there. Draw one by St. John. Puck comes back to Duhamel. He'll dump it wide of the net. Della Durante holding. He'll move the puck for Kupek. Kupek coming along the left side up for Klaus. Klaus didn't get as much weight on that shot as he wanted, but Soche is able to pick it up. He'll come up the left wing. A shot. Holding. Now Fullerton comes up the boards. Puck comes back to the other side of center. McCullough jumping into the play. He'll move it along the right side. Now Duhamel and Burke mixing it up as Gendron holds. Here's Gendron now. He'll make the play to Romeo. Romeo shooting wide of the net. Gendron trying to go behind the net. Here's Gendron holding. Shot. Where's the puck? It's somewhere in the blue paint. And somebody trying to free it. As Villain is trying to get his stick on it. Comes behind that to Gendron. Trying to rip it out short side. And Robinson was able to get the pad across, and he was trapped in the net. Finally, the play is blown down with 14:27 left in the second period. The Eagles leading 3-2. All the goals coming in the first. A very eventful first period indeed, with Adam Klaus getting his first 2 goals. And a goal coming from Rory Pilling, his first as well. As the face-off will be to the left of Robinson. Gendron will take the draw against Murnix. Eagles win the draw. Burke. Shot goes off the skate of Gendron. Now it'll come to Donovan up the right side. Murnix with it. Here's McCullough. McCullough for Roman L'Italien. Coming in over the blue line up the right side. Trying to go around Wasmer. L'Italien now for Burke. Here's Morin. Morin will skate along the right side. Looks for Murnix. 14:05 left in the second. It's a 3-2 score in favor of the Eagles. Here's Gendron coming up the right wing. Gendron throws it to the front. It'll go into the corner. Morin has it now for St. John. Morin for Murnix. Murnix chips it into the Eagles zone. Shots are 14-13 Eagles. Eagles lead 3-2. Puck comes now for Burke. Comes back to Brody. Brody up the right side. Puck will come now to Roman L'Italien. Try to dangle through. No go. Wasmer had him. Play behind the net, 13:34 left in the second period. 3-2 the score for the Eagles as the puck fired all the way down the ice. That will be icing against the Sea Dogs. Eagles lead 3-2 in the second period. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Blake. Blake Burke and his Eagles leading the St. John Sea Dogs by a score of 3-2 here at Center 200. Out of town, there is a score in the Sherbrooke-Charlottetown game. Maverick Lachance, the goal for the Phoenix. Reminder, the Sherbrooke Phoenix are going to be in Sydney coming up on November 21st. You can see NHL-ranked prospects Florian Houle and Thomas Rousseau. Go to Ticketmaster.ca, search Cape Breton Eagles to get your tickets, or call or visit the box office. 902-564-2200, Sherbrooke in town. That's the Eagles' next home game, November 21st. Not a lot of home games for the Eagles in this stretch. Had a 5-game road trip, 2 at home against St. John, another 5 games on the road, and then Sherbrooke will be in town for 2 starting on November 21st. Draw 1 by St. John. Chartrand, who has a goal, has the puck as well. Lost at Rocca. Will skate along the left wing. 13-16 remaining here in the second period. The Eagles lead 3-2 as Peich lost the puck. It'll come back now to Jettleson. Jettleson will move the puck forward. Wasmer lost the puck. Hartland. It'll come back to Rocca. Rocca being checked by Morin. Morin drops it back for Wasmer. Now it comes out to Murnix. Lost the puck to Jettleson. Sea Dogs keep the zone as Morin has it. Morin trying to dangle to the front of the net. Backhand, a save made by Hamel as Deladorante thrown to the ice by Donovan. Now it comes back to Hartland. He's held up by Croteau. Comes into the Eagles zone. Hamel leaves it for Deladorante. Made. Now Grew has it again. It'll be covered up by Hamel. And he'll keep the Eagles in the lead, 3-2. As the face-off will be out in front of the Eagles goaltender, Felix Hamel. Coming up at the intermission, we're going to have part 2 of our look at the WHL East Division with Dante DeCaria. We'll talk about the WHL's new streaming agreement with Victory Plus. I'll also talk about a couple of 15-year-old players, 2010-borns, that are playing for Canada at the World Hockey Challenge, Under-17 Hockey Challenge that's coming up in Nova Scotia. Primarily a tournament for 16-year-olds. Of course, Sam Berthume is going to be playing in that tournament. But 2 members of the Regina Pats are going to be playing as underagers in that tournament. Also talk about a couple of NHL drafted players in the WHL East Division that's coming up. Dante DeCaria. I thought that was a nice tie-in with the World Under-17s coming up in Nova Scotia to get some insight from Dante and those 2 young men. Eagles take possession. McCullough moves the puck to Klaus into the St. John's zone. Of course, we'll be keeping our eye on Canada White when that tournament begins. With Sam Berthume in nets, Colton Riley, Eagles therapist there as well. Andrew Mercer, goaltending consultant for the Ottawa 67s, a Sydney native, also part of the Canada White staff. Play in the Canada zone, the Cape Breton zone, pardon me. McCullough will move the puck for Romeo. Now, Soche will skate it into the St. John end, looking for Romeo. Romeo, a chance, a shot. Oh, and he missed the net. Puck comes back to the other side. Jumping in is Brody. Here's Brody. At all kinds of open ice. He'll send it back to Jettleson at right point. Jettleson shooting, and a glove grab there by Robinson. He'll cover for a face-off with 11:38 to go in the second. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at Center 200, where the Eagles lead the Sea Dogs at 3-2 in the second period. Been a good game here at the Nest. Draw 1 by the Eagles. Jettleson will send the puck there to Roman Letallier. He's checked by Villain. Villain will push the puck along the left side as Jettleson keeps it in. Puck comes now. I thought he had kept it in. Linesman disagrees, so that is offside. And the Eagles will see as the faceoff comes back into neutral territory. Eagles are next on the road, as I mentioned, Friday, November 7th in Newfoundland. Next at home for a pair against the Sherbrooke Phoenix, November 21st and November 22nd. Face-off next to the St. John blue line. Puck pushed forward as it'll come to Brody. Brody rips it into the corner. Villain will take possession. He'll move it along the wall. As Pilling lost it, Dubé buzzing around as well. Now Boyer will take possession. Boyer dumps it in to the St. John end. Here's an opportunity for Jettleson, top of the circle. Jettleson now trying to get it to Pilling. A shot save made. Riemann is loose. Jettleson jamming away and sprawling out to make the save. Here's the St. John goalkeeper, Justin Robinson. He'll cover for a face-off. Reminder, you can be the fan of the game tonight and all season long on 1270 AM CJCB. Listen for the keyword and text that word along with your first and last name. 902-595-3320. Tonight's word is Halloween. You could win a $15 gift card courtesy of Luann's Cafe. Face-off will be to the left here of the St. John Sea Dogs at netminder. Justin Robinson coming in relief after the 2 goals were scored on Raphael Corshane. Draw one by the Eagles. Burke now shooting. And puck will come to the other side for Brody. Now Roman Letalien behind the net. Gendron has it for the Eagles. He'll send it back to Jettleson. Jettleson holding. He'll move the puck to Brody. It goes wide of the goal. Gendron down the boards. Burke with it. And he loses it. It'll come to Morin. Morin moves the puck forward. Now Murnix jabbing it ahead up the right side. He'll get it to Donovan. Donovan, a shot goes over the net and off the glass behind the goal. Roman Letalien will move it along the right side. Puck comes back to Donovan. He's bodied by Jettleson. As Morin driving it up the left side. Here's Morin driving towards the net, trying to wrap it around. Still holding it. Sharp angle shot. Save made. Puck comes back to the blue line for Wasmer. Wasmer down the left side. 10:08 remaining now in the second period. Burke will pick it up for the Eagles. Shots 18-15 Eagles as Burke will fire the puck into the St. John zone. Puck will come back to Murnix in neutral territory. Goes by him to Morin. Morin along the left side. Della Durante lost the puck to Murnix. Murnix coming up the left wing. He's being hounded by Della Durante. Here's Murnix now for Morin. Morin throws it towards the front of the net. Rocca will pick it up. Rocca now short feed. Puck goes over center into the St. John zone. As Baldwin will move the puck to Zubek. Zubek up the left side for Murnix. Murnix dumping it into the Eagles zone. Della Durante and Kupak have it behind the net. Kupak along the wall. Kept in by Zubek. Zubek down the left boards. Hartland will take possession. Hartland will send the puck into the St. John zone. Comes behind the net for Robinson. Robinson hands it off there for Baldwin. Baldwin now behind the net. 9:13 left here in the second period. The Eagles with a 3-2 lead. All the goals coming in the first period. Puck comes now up off the end boards. Chasing after it is Guinish. Gauthier picks it up for the Sea Dogs for Rossi. Rossi sends it across the way as play along the side boards in the Eagles zone. Beaulieu will keep it in, moves it along the left wall. Battle in front of the net as McCullough bodied on the wall there by Gauthier. Jumping into the play is Beveridge. Beveridge tries to peel the puck forward and it'll dribble into Hamel. He'll cover for a face-off. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at Center 200, where the Eagles lead 3-2 over the St. John Sea Dogs. 8:43 remaining in the second period. Face off to the right of Felix Hamel. Dubé will take the draw against Soche. As Adam Klaus and Rory Pilling, both their first goals in the queue tonight. A pair for Klaus. Puck pushed forward by the Sea Dogs. Dubé being checked by Jettleson. Dubé sends it back to Duhamel. Duhamel shooting. Save made by the goaltender Hamel. Crayer now looking for Beveridge. Jettleson takes possession. He'll move it along the right side as Jettleson battling with Klaus. Now Crayer takes possession, drops it back for Beveridge. Beveridge shot, save made. Puck comes now to Crayer again. Crayer lost the puck to Klaus. Klaus being checked along the wall. Here's Soche coming in over center, looking to spring Romeo. No go. as the play is offside with 8:06 to go in the second period. Talking about the first goals in this game, well, congratulations to Cameron Hay of the Sherbrooke Phoenix as he scored his first career goal. Gave Sherbrooke a 2-0 lead against Charlottetown, although that lead has since been halved. Tyler Peddle has scored for the Islanders. Sherbrooke leads 2-1 over at the Amira Center in high school action. Riverview leads Memorial 3-0. That's in the second period. Draw one by the Eagles in neutral territory. McCullough will rip it wide of the net. Now Croteau will skate along the right side. Croteau will bring the puck up to center. Croteau down the ice. It'll come back around for Grew. Grew on the half board, sends it off the wall. Now Browdy's got it for the Eagles. Browdy up the boards for Pilling. Boyer gets it. He'll push it up into neutral territory. Charon has the puck for the Eagles. Hugo Charon will send it back now for Browdy. 7:37 remaining in the second. Eagles lead 3-2. All the goals coming in the first period. Croteau sends it forward. Puck coming into the Eagles' end as McCullough and Grew mixing it up. Grew throwing his weight on to McCullough. Pilling in there as well as a sea of bodies behind the goal line there. It'll come to McCullough for the Eagles. Playing the Eagles' end. McCullough will skate it up the left side there for Boyer. Now for Browdy. Browdy jetting into the Sea Dog zone. Here's Browdy over for Charon. Goes off his skate. He lost the puck. Sea Dogs get it in transition as Fullerton will skate up the left wing. Here's Fullerton. Drop pass for Rossi as Grew driving the net. Gets it over to him. Grew holding. Drop pass intercepted by Boyer. Boyer had his pass intercepted by Baldwin. Baldwin, top right circle. Baldwin had an open man and Grew. Pass a bit too far. Grew gets it back, though. Shoots wide of the net. Every play is just that second off. Rossi, a shot saved made by ML. He'll cover for a face-off with 6:50 to go here in the second period. The Eagles lead by a score of 3-2. As shots showing is 18 apiece. Pretty even for the period. The Eagles out shooting St. John. The game is starting to open up a little bit here. Face-off will be to the left of Hamel. Murnix will take the draw against Gendron. Not done correctly. They'll do it again. As Morin and Gendron. Draw one by St. John. Puck comes back to Chertron down the right side. Here's Della Durante. He'll move it up the left side for Kupek. Penalty coming up against the Sea Dogs. L'Italien driving it forward. And the puck is touched by Chertron. Eagles going to their first power play of the game here in the second period. Oliver's Murnix will get the gate. Eagles will go to the man advantage. First time tonight, Eagles power play last in the league at 10.9%. St. John's penalty kill, 78.6. The Eagles will love to improve their power play. This year, the Eagles have scored 5 power play goals, and they've allowed 3 shorthanded goals. So just a +2 differential. They want to get that straightened out. They'll have an opportunity to do that right here. Face-off will come to the left of the St. John goal. Gendron has Soche and Roman L'Italien on his wings. Browdy and Klaus on the points. Grew will take the draw for St. John. As tie up off the draw, Wasmer, Fullerton, Chertron also for St. John. Browdy to Klaus. Puck comes down to Roman L'Italien. Here's Klaus. Shot. And save made there by Robinson. Eagles keep the pressure going. Murnix in the box for checking from behind. As Eagles on the power play for another 1:37. Puck comes down to Klaus. Klaus will send it back to Browdy. Browdy over to Roman L'Italien. L'Italien now sends it to Browdy. Browdy will move the puck there to Klaus. Klaus down the wall. There's a chance for Soche and a save made. As a Soche giving a couple of shoves there in front of the net to Wasmer and Chertron. As the Eagles power play still with 1:22 left on it. Face-off will come out in front of the Sea Dogs goal. The Eagles will see if they can do anything on this man advantage. Face-off will be to the right of Justin Robinson, who came in relief at 2-0. The Eagles were up 2-0, thought they had made it 3-0. The goal was called back, but the goaltending change had already been made by that point, so Robinson stayed in the net. Eagles win the draw. Puck comes back to Browdy. Browdy holding at center point. He'll move it there for Klaus. Back to Browdy. A shot wide of the net. Klaus, who has 2 goals tonight, he'll move it there for L'Italien. Puck comes back to Browdy. Browdy now for Gendron. Gendron down the right side. Roman L'Italien now for Klaus. Klaus Now to L'Italien. He'll send it to Gendron. He couldn't hold. Puck comes back the other way. Fullerton trying to stab it out of the zone. He couldn't get it the first time. He got it the second time. Puck comes back into St. John territory. Here's Gendron jetting up the right wing. A shot, a save made. And it's covered up there by Robinson with 46 seconds left in the power play and 5:24 remaining in period number 2. Reminder to Eagles fans, you can purchase 50/50 tickets, Eagles home games from anywhere in the province. Go to eagles5050.ca. Tickets still on sale into the third period. Right now, the winner will be taking home at least $2,200. Again, go to eagles5050.ca. You can purchase tickets from anywhere in Nova Scotia. Face off to the left here of the Sea Dogs goal. Eagles win the draw, but can't hold the line. Jettleson has to skate back. Jettleson out there with Burke on the back end. McCullough also out there is Romeo and Peitsch as well in that second unit. Here's McCullough. He'll skate into the St. John zone. Puck comes deep into St. John territory. Chartron rims it along the wall. Burke couldn't hold the line. Now Morin goes after it, battling with Jettleson. Here's Peitsch coming up the left wing. Peitsch coming up the wall. He'll shoot over the net. Puck comes back to the point for Jettleson. Jettleson. He'll move it down the wall for McCullough. Jettleson now for Burke. Burke will move the puck to Romeo. Now Wasmer will fire it down the ice. 4:44 left in the period. Time ticking down in the power play as Hamel will set it behind the net for Jettleson. As the penalty comes to an end. 4:35 left in the period. Eagles lead 3-2. All the goals coming in the first period. Jettleson has it. He'll skate up the left wing. He's being watched there by Crayer. Puck runs around for Peitsch behind the net. He's being watched by Beveridge. Peitsch holds. He'll move it to Jettleson. Jettleson up the left side for Pilling. Pilling, short feed there for Peitsch. Now Hartland coming up the left wing. Hartland, shot over the net. Now Deladurante on the other point. Deladurante down the right side. As puck comes to Pilling. Pilling on the right half boards. Pilling holding. He's knocked off the puck by Murnix. Deladurante will take possession. As it'll come into the St. John zone. Chartron now for Wasmer. Wasmer for Crayer. Into the Eagles zone it goes. As puck will come now to Hartland. Hartland will skate up over center. 3:41 remaining here in the second period. Eagles ahead 3-2. Puck behind the net. Villain will move it for Beveridge. Beveridge coming in over center into the Eagles zone. Now Boyer takes possession. Boyer will make the play up for Soche. Soche up the wall. Comes to McCullough. McCullough across for Guinish. Now McCullough will take possession. Back to Guinish again. Guinish for McCullough. McCullough lost it. It'll come back into the Eagles zone for Guinish. He'll scoop up the puck and set up behind the net. Moves it to McCullough. 3:06 remaining here in the second period. 3-2 Eagles is the score. As Villain will send the puck forward. Coming up the ice is Dubé. Dubé coming up the left wing. A shot, a grab by ML. He'll cover for a face-off with under 3 to go in the second period. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Noah. Noah Jettleson and his Eagles lead 3-2 here against the St. John Sea Dogs. Halloween night at the Nest. Want to remind Eagles fans, not too late for your child to submit to the CHL Real Canadian Superstore jersey. The contest is back for another year. Your child can submit a jersey design, and the winner will be worn on the ice by the Cape Breton Eagles this coming winter. Go to jerseydesigncontest.chl.ca. That's jerseydesigncontest.chl.ca. Your deadline is November 6th. So tonight is our last night to plug that on the air because the Eagles' next game is November 7th. But again, your child can submit up until November 6th. The face-off will take place in the Eagles zone here in period number 2. Draw one by St. John. Morin sends it back to Villain. That chance in front. Save made as Baldwin was looking for another one, trying to go short side. He'll throw it out towards the front of the net. Now Roman L'Italien will skate up over center as Puck comes to Morin. Along the wall for Donovan. Murnix ends up turning it over. Gendron will move the puck to Roman Letalien into the St. John zone. Baldwin will push the puck along for Villain. Villain will move it along the right side. And a play blown down. I think there was a glove pass, I believe, as the faceoff will come. Well, where will the faceoff be? Yeah, faceoff's going to come into neutral territory. Obviously, a glove pass by the Sea Dogs wouldn't have blown play down. It's the time left of the clock, 2:23 here in period number 2. Faceoff will be next to the St. John blue line. Eagles with a 3-2 edge. Draw one by the Eagles. Jettleson will skate up over center. He'll rip it in, and a glove grab there by Robinson. He'll cover for a face-off. 2:17 to go here in the period. Face-off will be out in front of the St. John goaltender. Coming up at the intermission, we're going to have Cape Breton Eagles birthdays. We have a jam-packed installment today, including 3 players that went on to play in the NHL. Hear about a pair of original Eagles, a one-game wonder, a championship goaltender, physical blue liner, and a 1-year overager. That's coming up at the intermission. Eagles birthdays. Draw one by St. John. Duhamel will be pressed there by Klaus. Now Grew for Fullerton. Here's Fullerton coming in, trying to dig around Jettleson. Fullerton, a shot, a save made. Rebound, it'll come to the side of the net. Now back to the point it goes. Zubek with it. Zubek, a shot. The puck will deflect up. And at a play, we'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. I know. So crazy. Okay. Face-off will be out in front of the Eagles goal. Draw one by the Eagles. Deladurante will move it for Kupek. Kupek up the left side. Gendron now for Burke. Burke will skate up the left wing. Here's Burke coming in over center into the St. John zone. Burke drop for Roman Letalien. Letalien pushed off the puck by Grew. That'll come back to the point. Here's Deladurante, bounced over his stick as he'll push the puck along the right side. Puck comes into the St. John zone. Play blown down on the offside with 94 seconds remaining in period number 2. The Eagles ahead 3-2. There's not as many big chances in this second period. All the goals coming in the first period. Faceoff's actually going to come all the way out in front of the Eagles goal. So it will be a draw to the right of Hamel. Louis Gendron getting ready to take the face-off. 11 for 17 on the draw tonight is Louis Gendron. Elliot Dubé 7 for 12. Draw one by the Eagles. The puck pushed out to Burke, and he'll dump it out into St. John territory. Into the final 90 seconds of the period. Dubé, 2 assists last night for the Sea Dogs. He'll move the puck forward. It'll come back into neutral territory, though. Burke past Chertron, who has a goal tonight for St. John. Wasmer behind the net. Julian Wasmer played Chicoutimi last year, came over from the BCHL, and then was moved to St. John just prior to the season. Wasmer will dump it into the Eagle zone as a commit to the University of Maine next year. He'll send the puck back to Chertron. Chertron shooting through traffic. Chance in front for Dubé, and he scores. Oh, boy, you could see that coming. There was a sea of bodies between Dubé and the net, but there wasn't that much space. And he was able to put it by Hamel. I don't know how much visibility Hamel would have had of that, as Dubé was hanging around the hash marks. And he just kind of made himself invisible, did Elliot Dubé. And actually, he was the one who originally knocked the puck down. It came on a point shot. And Dubé got a stick on it, and then he ended up getting the rebound and put it by. So we've got ourselves a tie game here. St. John was trailing at different points, 2-0 and 3-1. And now it is an even game as the puck comes back into the Eagles zone. As Dubé's 3rd goal of the season. Puck comes now. Murnix had it, lost it. Klaus for Jettleson. Jettleson will bring the puck over center, back to Klaus. Klaus has an opportunity. He'd love to get a hat-trick goal there. Comes back to Jettleson. Jettleson lost it, and Romeo will pick it up. Romeo trying to battle Murnix. Puck comes back to Villain. Up the ice it goes for Donovan. Donovan coming into the Eagles zone. Donovan being watched there by Kupek as puck comes now for Villain. Villain a shot wide of the goal. Puck comes back to the point there. Duhamel rims it along the low board. St. John pressing late in the period. 15 seconds left here. Puck comes now to Jedelson. Jedelson ends up turning it over. Morin fires it in. Save made by Hamel. Kupek takes possession behind the net. 5 seconds left. Puck comes back down to Morin. He'll shoot. Now, and the period will come to an end. Just the one goal. The Sea Dogs find their tying goal as it's 3-3 after 40. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Time now for the period recap. Just one goal, and it came with exactly 1 minute left in the period. Elliot Dubé's third of the season from Cameron Chartrand and Julian Wasmer. That made it a 3-3 score. Other numbers from the period: shots 9-8 Eagles, two-period total of 21 apiece. Power plays, both teams are 0 for 1 tonight. St. John winning the face-off battle 28-20, and the hits, St. John 20, Eagles 7. Individual numbers from the game. Cameron Chartrand has got a goal and an assist for the Sea Dogs tonight. 4 shots on goal for Olivier Groux. Elliot Dubé has won 8 of 13 draws for St. John. 5 hits for Patrick Zubik of the Sea Dogs. For the Eagles, 5 shots on goal for Adam Klaus. Louis Gendron has won 11 of 18 faceoffs. Samuel Kupek with 3 hits. That's a look at what's gone on in the first 40 minutes. So when we come back, we'll take a look around the league. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Okay. Time now for Window on the Q. Just one other game in the league going on. Sherbrooke has regained their 2-goal margin as Jaden Plouffe scoring. They lead Charlottetown 3-1, and that is at the end of 40 minutes. High school action tonight. Riverview's up 4-1 on Memorial. That is in the second period. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Jeremy Fraser at the Cape Breton Post. You are listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.
Probably ask about Mickey at the end. Yeah, I was going to mention about Mickey anyway, so.
Perfect. Be like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing too great. Nothing you haven't done before.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's. Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission as the Eagles and Sea Dogs tied at 3. Joined now by Jeremy Fraser of the Cape Breton Post. Jeremy, a much different game than what we saw last night, although not the end of the second period the Eagles wanted. What do you make of what we've seen thus far? A wild first period in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a completely different game from last night. Coach Jason Clark didn't mince words last night about what he thought of the game, and I'm sure lots of fans who left the building thought the same thing that he was thinking, but didn't want to say it. Certainly, definitely a better game for the Eagles tonight, getting pucks in deep, getting pucks on net as well, and obviously scoring on their opportunities. Adam Klaus scoring his first 2 career QMJHL goals, and Rory Pilling finally getting his first goal, which was nice to see after one was disallowed earlier in the period.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think Rory's going to keep both of those pucks?
I don't even think he got the first one, to be honest with you. I'm sure somebody got it for him at some point, but yeah, it was nice to see Rory get that goal. I know he had lots of excitement after the first time he thought he had scored, but there was even more the second time.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And Angelo Fullerton, I'm sure it meant a lot to him to score, and he's just been driving. He had a beautiful rush going up against Jedelson just a few minutes ago there. And how nice has it been? You don't like to see it as an Eagles fan, but nice to see him still playing well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody who's an Eagles fan would like to see Angelo have success. I mean, he contributed 3 years to the team here in Sydney, and obviously scored that big goal on a night that a lot of Eagles fans and us here, you and I, Pat, will remember probably for the rest of our careers, the Midnight Marathon. So it's always nice to see guys have success after Cape Breton. And obviously he put his time in, so it's nice to see him having some success with the Sea Dogs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And the Sea Dogs really pushed back. I mean, the Eagles looked like they were leading 3-0 before that Pilling disallowed goal, and they do build up a 3-1 lead. I guess what did we see from St. John to allow them to tie the game in that second period?
Yeah, even in the second period, I thought Cape Breton carried most of the play. They had lots of pressure in the zone, and it only turned out to be the last maybe 2 minutes where St. John started coming on. And as for that tying goal, Felix Hamel had no chance for that. There was a shot from the point, it was hit in front, and then Dubé buried the loose puck in the slot. So you can't really blame Hamel for that one. But Cape Breton just has to keep coming out and keep doing what they're doing, really. Other than the last 2 minutes of that period, I thought they controlled the play for the most part.
Yeah, Elliot Dubé's having a nice week, too. And, of course, exciting to see Jack Skinnish come on.
Yeah, absolutely. He puts in lots of effort. I know speaking with his coach last year, he spoke very highly of him and Tim Boyce in Halifax. And you can see that he's already feeling comfortable out there, and it's only his third game. And you heard last night from Coach Clark as well. He said that Ginnish was the best defenseman on the ice the whole game, and it was hard to argue with him for that matter. So he is getting comfortable. He's only 16 years old too, so he's got a lot of learning to do and getting comfortable in the league, but certainly not looking at a place out there by any means.
Yeah, I think good experience for him and William Dubé, who unfortunately got injured on Sunday, but he did get in a full game on Saturday as well.
And it also works out, I have to say, too, Pat, because Halifax is in town this weekend to play the Rush for 2 games, so it's kind of, I guess, a week home for him for one sense.
Yeah, very convenient call-up. Well, that's good news. Unfortunately, we do have to end on a sad note. Fans listening to the broadcast would have heard before the game a passing away of Mickey Fay, who we're so familiar with up in the press box. Such a great guy. He's worked so hard up here. Just what do you remember about Mickey?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, Mickey was an outstanding guy. I had the pleasure of working with him for almost 9 years at the Cape Breton Post. He was a salesperson for us, and I knew Mickey before that anyway, but during my time to get to know Mickey, a guy who would do anything for you. If you called Mickey and you needed something, he was the first person there to do it for you. So he had that going for him, a great sense of humor, a bright smile that could light up a room, and just an absolute shocker to hear that this week. My condolences out to Mickey's family, his 2 sons, Ryan and Nick. We know Ryan here. He works as an off-ice official as well, following in his dad's footsteps. So my condolences to the family, and we're certainly going to miss Mickey. It's not going to be the same not seeing him at the rink.
Well, couldn't have said it better myself, Jeremy. It is weird not seeing him up here. We'll get back to the third period and enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks for this.
Always a pleasure, Pat. Thanks.
Jeremy Fraser of the Cape Breton Post joining us at the intermission. Eagles, Sea Dogs are tied at 3. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Okay, hopefully I didn't overshoot that, Ronnie. 11:30. All right. And back here at Center 200, awaiting the third period of play here is the Eagles lead the Eagles and Sea Dogs tied 3-3. St. John tying the game late in period number 2. And the draw won by the Eagles. Puck comes into the Sea Dog zone. As the puck comes back to Murnick. Murnick's up the wall. Puck in neutral territory. And play blown down. As the Eagles and the Sea Dogs tied after 40 minutes. The Eagles are 1-0-1 this year when tied after 2. St. John 0-1 when tied after 2. And the draw won by the Eagles. Puck dumped into the St. John zone. Puck comes out into the Sea Dogs bench. So a bit of a disjointed start to this third period. As the face-off will come back into the St. John zone. As the face-off will be to the left here of Robinson. Draw one by St. John, and the puck comes back out into neutral territory as Della Durante has it behind the net. It'll come back along there for Boyer. And back into neutral territory. Gendron coming in over the blue line up the right side. Drop pass there for Burke. He ends up turning it over. Play goes the other way now onto the stick of Morin. Coming into the Eagles zone now Donovan. Right circle, pass across. There's Duhamel, a shot, toe save. Puck comes off the end boards. Now Gendron will pick it up for the Eagles. As L'Italien will move it into the Sea Dog zone. Now Duhamel at it. And he'll set up behind the net. As he'll get the puck back behind the goal. And it's Villain firing it down the ice. As puck comes along for Rossi. As Pilling takes possession. Sharon now brings it in, and it's offside, so play blown down, 18:34. It's an interesting game, been free-flowing at parts, and then you get the start of the third period of kind of a disjointed start with a number of whistles. And face-off will come out in front of the St. John blue line. As the draw won by the Eagles, Ganesh will send it over to McCullough. Puck comes along the right side. Now Pilling will push the puck on the board. Ball comes back to McCullough, and a shot and a save made by Robinson. He'll cover for a face-off. We'll take a break. You'll see McDonald Lotto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a weird start to the period. Yeah. Face-off will be out in front of Robinson. The draw will be between Hartland and Dubé. Draw won by the Eagles. Puck comes back along the wall. Now Ganesh takes possession on the half boards. He shoots. And it'll come back down to the side of the goal. As comes back to Dubé. Dubé will come in over center. Lost the puck there to Rocca. He's checked along the boards. As puck comes back now to Ganesh. He'll move the puck there for McCullough. McCullough moves the puck to Rocca. He'll dump it into the St. John zone. Wasper being checked there by Rocca. It'll come back now to Jettleson. Jettleson as he'll send it over to Della Durante. And Peich will push the puck into the St. John zone. And Peich takes possession behind the net. And Soche digging in. Della Durante coming in. A shot. Here's a chance for Peich. And coming up the wall there is Wasmer. Into the Eagles zone it goes. And play blown down on the icing call. Face-off will come out in front of the St. John goal. 17:25 here left in the third period. 3-3 the score. Face-off will be out in front of Robinson. 3-3 the score. Eagles and Sea Dogs. Late tying goal in the second period, courtesy of Elliot Dubé. As the draw won by the Eagles, Romeo will send it now to Jettelson. Jettelson a shot, chance in front, shaving away Soche. Another chance, another denial there. A couple of pad saves by Robinson. Eagles buzzing. Puck comes down behind the net. Penalty coming up here. And it's going to be to the Eagles, an offensive zone penalty after they had all those chances. Now St. John is going to go to their second power play of the night as Adam Klaus is going to the box. And this will be a St. John power play. So St. John 0 for 1 on the man advantage. So they'll have an opportunity to go ahead on the power play here with 17-11 to go in the third period. This year the Eagles have been outscored 15-10 in period number 3. St. John has scored 15 and allowed 15. Sea Dogs 0 for 1 in the power play. They win the draw. Here's Duhamel. The Sea Dogs did get a goal shortly after their power play in the second period. Puck comes down to Rossi on the half boards. Rossi will send it across as Murinix drops it back for Duhamel. Puck will come back into the St. John zone as Duhamel will skate up towards the center red line, moves it for Murinix. Now Donovan coming in. He'll move the puck to Murinix in the corner. Murinix sends it back to Duhamel. Duhamel across there for Grew. Grew now for Duhamel. Duhamel moves the puck there for Rossi. Over to Duhamel. A shot. It's blocked there by Gendron. Now Duhamel will take possession. He'll slide it down the wall. Puck comes back now to Rossi in the right circle. Moves it there for Grew. Throws it out to the front. A save made on. Jams away on the goaltender Ramel. Now Duhamel a shot wide of the net. Sea Dogs with the power play for another 1:08. Klaus is in the box. 16-17 left of the period. Here's Rossi, a shot wide of the net. Eagles Sea Dogs tied at 3. Here's Rossi again, top right circle. Feed to the Grew, a shot, nets off, and the ref will blow it down. I was wondering if there was going to be a delay. So 16:06 left of the period. 55 seconds left in the Klaus minor. Eagles try to kill this penalty off. St. John with some looks early on. Face-off will be out in front of Hamel. As the Eagles and the Sea Dogs tied at 3. If you race to the website, you can still purchase 50/50 tickets tonight. Eagles5050.ca. Winner will win at least $2,700. You still have a couple minutes to get tickets. Face-off will be to the right tier of Hamel. The Eagles, Sea Dogs tied at 3. 55 seconds left in the close minor. Draw one by St. John. Puck will come back now for Duhamel. As Murinix, little drop pass for Duhamel. Shot stopped. Puck will friddle into the corner. Now Murinix will move the puck to Grew. Sends it back to Duhamel. Duhamel now for Murinix. Murinix a shot wide of the net. Puck will come back around now to Rossi. Rossi has it. He'll jab it along. Now Murinix takes possession. Murinix in the left circle. He'll move it. There's a chance for Grew. Didn't arrive on net. Was blocked on its way to the goal by McCullough. Now Murinix will take possession. Murinix in the left circle. Little drop for Rossi. Rossi now holding. He'll slide down the left side. He'll drop it back for Duhamel. Duhamel with it at center point. He'll make the play over to Murinix. Murinix moves to the sideboards. Puck comes down to Murinix on the half wall. 15-20 remaining here in the period. 7 seconds left on the penalty. As the Sea Dogs with some chances, but the Eagles holding them off for now. Here's Duhamel. Moves it for Murinix. Murinix pass there to Donovan. A shot save made. Puck was in the blue paint and reaching down to get it was the goaltender Felix Hamel. And the Eagles and Sea Dogs tied at 3 as the penalty has come to an end. So the Eagles dodged the bullet there. Face-off will come out in front of the goaltender Hamel. Like I mentioned before, the Sea Dogs had scored just after the power play. This time the Eagles with the face-off will get an opportunity to get their 5 players set. And they'll have a face-off out in front of Felix Hamel. So Felix Hamel still facing the other way. The linesman was getting ready to drop the puck, and Hamel was still looking at the glass. And official had to say, well, we have to wait to drop the puck, and he does. Draw one by the Sea Dogs. Puck comes back to the point. Shot. Save made by Hamel. Rebound trickles to the side. As puck comes back now behind the net. Morin will take possession. He'll throw it out in front. A chance for Fullerton in tight. Goes wide of the goal. As Sea Dogs working the puck around. Baldwin a shot from the point and a save made by Hamel. So St. John with a lot of pressure here, both at even strength and on the power play to start this period. Face-off will come out in front of Hamel. It's the Eagles and the Sea Dogs tied at 3 here in period 3. Draw will be to the right of the Eagles' goal. Draw one by the Eagles. Jettleson along the right side. He'll skate along the right wing, moves it up the ice there for Pilling. Now Baldwin's got it on the other side of center, rips it into the Eagles' zone. Puck comes back now to Pilling. Pilling can't clear. Puck comes into the corner. 14:34 remaining in the third period. 3-3. Been a very fascinating game tonight at Center 200. Puck comes to Morin. Morin will send the puck forward for Fullerton. Fullerton will move the puck up the right side. Now Jettleson will take possession. Jettleson coming along the right wing. Now Della Durante will move the puck for Jettleson. Jettleson ripping it in on the goal. It ends up going wide. Baldwin will take possession. Baldwin tries to move it up for Beaulieu. Beaulieu dumping it into the Eagles zone. Now coming after it is McCullough. McCullough moves it along for Browdy. Here's Boyer with it. Boyer comes out to the front of the net as Browdy will take possession. Browdy sends it off the boards. Wasmer's got it for St. John. He'll dump it into the Eagles zone. Now McCullough has it. 13:49 remaining here in the third period. It's a 3-3 score. Driving the puck net forward. Here's a chance for Beveridge. A shot. Save made. Rebound goes to the side of the net. Beaulieu. St. John's still pressing here. Wasmer's got it at the point. Wasmer down the right side. Puck comes now looking for Dubé behind the net. Dubé had that tying goal in the last minute of the second period. Dubé will fire the puck towards the goal. Here's Beaulieu coming in. Shot, scores. Oh, he could see that coming. St. John came out on fire to start the third period. Beveridge running a screen in front, and Beaulieu just under the crossbar. And for the first time in the game, the Sea Dogs have the lead. It's 4-3. And it's a shot from Jacob Beaulieu, the fourth-year forward, alternate captain of the Sea Dogs. Has been battling for ice time in and out of the lineup. And he has himself a goal that puts St. John ahead by a score of 4-3. That's his first goal of the season. I mentioned a fourth-year player has been kind of in and out of the lineup with all the as the Sea Dogs move ahead. As Murnix will take the draw against Soche. St. John ahead 4-3, 13:24 remaining. Sea Dogs out shooting the Eagles 8-4 here in the third period. Face-off will come at center. Seems to be a bit of a delay at getting the game back underway. I don't think it's a review. I don't see any tablets out or anything yet. So, 3-3 was the score, and Jacob Beaulieu, a shot coming over. And a weird start to the first part of the third period, as there wasn't a lot of activity the first 2.5 minutes, kind of a disjointed, a lot of whistles early, and then the Sea Dogs had a couple chances, generate a power play, more chances, and then they kept the momentum going off that power play. And they were able to capitalize, and it's a 4-3 score. So, again, we're waiting for the game to get underway. This does not seem to be a goal review or anything like that. I don't see the score on the board yet. That should be a go-ahead goal for Jacob Beaulieu, and again, it'll be his first of the season. Eagles finishing up this brief two-game homestand. The Eagles back in action on Friday, November 7th. Full week off. Don't see that often in the queue. The Eagles will head to Newfoundland. First ever game against the Newfoundland Regiment coming up Friday, November 7th. 6:30 puck drop Atlantic time. We'll have the pregame at 6 o'clock. Remember, of course, the half-hour time difference. Newfoundland is ahead of us. So the players awaiting this game to get back underway. It's the Eagles and the Sea Dogs. Okay, it looks like they might review it now. I wonder if this is going to get reviewed for anything. I wonder if they would say that Beveridge interfered with Hamel, because he was right on top of him. So they could be looking at this for goalie interference. That would be my guess. My default has always been, if you don't know what they're reviewing, it's probably offside, which was the case when Rory Pilling's goal was called back earlier in the first period. But as said, Beveridge did a good job of running a screen. Maybe he did too good a job of running a screen. Was he interfering with Felix Hamel? We'll see if they can figure it out. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200. And whatever the review was, it's deemed a goal. And it was pointed out to me, it looked like it was the official reviewing it. If the linesman was reviewing it, it would have been likely looked at for an offside. So I'm going to guess they looked to see if it was goalie interference, and they decided it was not. So Eagles at trail 4-3. The review confirms it a good goal. Croteau lost the puck behind the net to Soche. It'll come along the wall. Now Morin will take possession. Morin will send the puck there to Murnix. Murnix now wide of the net. This puck comes back along. Klaus will skate up over center. Into the St. John zone he goes. Croteau just hit Klaus. His head went off the glass. And that's one of those instances where you're happy after the Charapacci already that they changed the formation of the glass. That's why. That looked like a safe play, but had that been a partition there, it might not have been so safe. Here's Romeo. He'll try to throw the puck in front of the net. Croteau now has it. He'll send it off the M boards. Eagles trail 4-3. Jacob Beaulieu, a go-ahead goal here early in the third. Donovan swats at it. Puck comes back to Jettleson. He'll shoot. Glove grab by Robinson. He'll cover for a face-off. 12:22 remaining in the third period. The Eagles trail 4-3. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Lucas. Lucas Romeo and his Eagles trailing 4-3 early in the third period. Jacob Beaulieu's first of the season has put the Sea Dogs out in front. Reminder, stay tuned following tonight's game for the East Bay Country America post-game show. We'll have the drive to the net, save of the game, 3 stars and more immediately following the conclusion of tonight's game. Face-off will be out in front of the Sea Dogs goal, as it'll be to the left of Robinson. John Draw will take the draw against Grew. So offensive zone draw for the Eagles. Draw one cleanly by the Eagles as Jettleson will send it over to Brody. Brody holds as he'll fire towards the net. Tip save made. Now Jean Draw's shot. It's wide of the net. Puck comes back. Rossi giving a hard hit there by Brody. Fans like that one as Burke. As Brody now and Fullerton going at it. Fullerton getting some blows on Brody, and those are some punches. There's going to be at least one fighting major here. Angelo Fullerton dropping the mitts against his old team, although remember, Jack Brody joined the Eagles after Fullerton left. So those would never have been teammates, and they certainly didn't look like teammates there. And from Fullerton's point of view, obviously he doesn't like to see his teammate hit. And Brody telling the crowd to make some noise. And Brody lowering the boom. And I believe that Rossi is going to go to the room. St. John dressed 11 forwards tonight. And they might be down to 9 in one play. So Brody throws a big hit. And it looked to me like Brody was anticipating the puck coming to Rossi. Looked like a good hit. The contention there might be whether Rossi had the puck yet or not. And I don't know if that would have been Fullerton's contention as well. Otherwise, in terms of body contact, that looked pretty clean. So Fullerton going to drop the gloves, so they'll have a discussion about this. But in terms of point of contact and everything, it looked like a beautiful hit to me. But I said it may have been a shade early. But I certainly like to see that from Jack Brody. A lot of aggression. He was all fired up, and the crowd was fired up as well. But again, the officials were right there. There was no call on the hit, so they seemed to agree that it was a good hit. But they are reviewing it, so we'll see. I said, regardless of what the call ends up being, I think the coaching staff would appreciate that type of physicality from Jack Brody. So we'll see how this all shakes down. They are reviewing it. We'll see if they can figure it out. A lot of reviews, folks. The people in the penalty box are earning their keep tonight. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200, where the Eagles trail the Sea Dogs 4-3, 12:05 remaining. Dylan Rossi hit by Jack Browdy, and Angelo Fullerton coming in to avenge it. And I feel like there's been changes to the fighting rule there as well, because in the past you'd see where if there was an instigator, the guy on the other side of the fight would not get a game misconduct, but both Browdy and Fullerton going to the room. So the Eagles, keep in mind, have 6 defensemen, but Jack Skinnish dressed as the 6D in the absence of Will Murphy and Thomas Lavoie. So they could be down to 5. They'll be down to 5 for the rest of this third period. So the Sea Dogs could be down to 9 forwards if Rossi doesn't come back, but it looks like he's going to, as he's coming back to the bench. So they are reviewing this play. So again, Browdy the hit on Rossi, and Fullerton and Browdy then fighting. But Fullerton, I would think, would get the instigator, so that at very least would be a penalty against the Sea Dogs. We'll have to wait to see how this all shakes down. Speculating might be a fool's game for me to do so here. What I'm not speculating on is that Florian Houle has scored a couple of goals for the Sherbrooke Phoenix. They lead the Charlottetown Islanders 5-1. How about that? The league-leading Charlottetown Islanders trailing 5-1. So 5 minutes has been given to Jack Browdy. I am going to guess they deem that early. Again, to me, in terms of the actual hit, if you looked at the hit in isolation, to me it looked clean. The only thing I could guess is that they're saying he hit a second early. We'll have to wait for the actual call. There's 2 on the board to Fullerton. I'm assuming that will be interference. And Alexi Goche is in the box, presumably serving the penalty to Fullerton. Again, we'll have to wait for Rob McNamara to tell us all about that. As it stands now, though, we're going to see 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and then St. John would have a 3-minute quote-end-quote major power play. So we will see. Because of the scrum after the fact, the faceoff will come out to center ice. Obviously, after a penalty, usually there is usually the faceoff goes in one of the zones, but because of the scrum, it'll come to center. Draw one by St. John. So again, the teams will play 4-on-4 for 3 minutes. We'll wait for the official call, but 5 on the board to Browdy, 2 for Fullerton. And it was interference against Browdy. Again, I think it was just that shade early, but boy, it was close. Here's Chartron. He'll skate into the Eagles zone. You hate to see that because you'll love to see the excitement there from Browdy to throw the body. Puck comes now to Skinnish behind the net, battling with Murnix. How about Jack Skinnish seeing playing time here in a critical 4-on-4 situation? As Wasmer now sends it off the end boards. Roman L'Italien will take possession. 1:24 left in the 4-on-4. Roman L'Italien will skate up to center. Puck comes back now to Jettleson. Jettleson over to Skinnish. Now coming up the wall is Romeo. Romeo, top right circle. Shot, and the puck goes up and at a play. As 1:08 left in the 4-on-4. Eagles and the Sea Dogs. So the official penalties, Fullerton gets the instigator, gets the fighting, which gives him a 5 in a game. Browdy gets 2 majors, 1 for interference, 1 for fighting, and of course he gets the game as well. So face-off will come out in front of Robinson. Draw one by the Eagles. McCullough will send it to Della Durante. The Eagles would love to score a tying goal while they're still at even strength here. Jean Draw now for McCullough. McCullough for Della Durante, and it's wide of the net. Puck comes behind the goal. 55 seconds left in the 4-on-4. As puck comes now into the Eagles zone. Duhamel goes chasing after it on the half boards. He's being checked there by Jean Draw. Puck comes back to Beveridge. Beveridge will send it across as Rossi had disappeared, reappeared, disappeared, now reappeared on the Sea Dogs bench. Here's Baldwin. He'll send the puck to the sidewall for Crayer. Matthew Crayer rims it along the dasher. Puck comes now to Beveridge. It'll come off the high glass. Chartron's got it on the other side now. 25 seconds left in the 4-on-4. So again, 2 minutes given to Fullerton, 5 to Browdy. So the first 2 minutes are 4-on-4, and then St. John will have that 3-minute power play, which can't be ended by a Sea Dogs goal. Here's Grew coming in over center. He'll move the puck to Baldwin. Chartron will skate over the blue line. Chartron holding, top left circle, a shot wide of the net. 3 minutes left here as the Sea Dogs go to the power play. Goche will immediately race to the bench. Almost surprised that the Sea Dogs didn't use one of their regular power play members to serve that penalty. As he was replaced immediately by Rossi. There you go. Rossi wasn't available. Now he is, and he'll come out onto the ice. Puck comes to Duhamel. Duhamel, drop pass for Rossi. Rossi coming in over, center and over the blue line into the Eagles zone for Donovan. Back to Rossi. Dylan Rossi in the corner. Back to Duhamel. Duhamel sends it across for Grew. 2.5 left in the Eagles penalty. Here's Duhamel for Rossi. A shot and he scores. Oh boy. It goes full circle as it's Dylan Rossi on the power play. And that is a tough break for the Eagles, but it's a 5-3 lead for St. John. Oh boy, this game has had more twists and turns than taking Route 4 off the island as Dylan Rossi ripping that 5th Sea Dogs goal by ML, who just couldn't get over in time. And the Sea Dogs still on the power play for another 2:27. And the Eagles a little bit shell-shocked here, but they're going to have to try to recover in a hurry. See if they can kill the rest of this penalty off and then get to the work of coming back in the game. Dylan Rossi's 7th goal of the season. Here's Duhamel. He'll move the puck for Grew. Remember, St. John on the power play for another 2:18. And as we just learned, that power play cannot be ended with the Sea Dogs goal. Puck comes back to Donovan. Donovan holding. He'll send it back to Duhamel. Duhamel at right point. Center point now. He'll hold. As still holding the puck is Duhamel. He'll move it to Murnix. Murnix now for Donovan. Grew digging in as well. Puck will come back to Duhamel at the point. Duhamel for Murnix. Murnix back to Duhamel again. Duhamel holding, shooting. It'll trickle towards Hamel, and it's cleared away with 1:44 remaining now in the penalty. Puck comes down to Duhamel. As the Sea Dogs lead 5-3, they're still in the power play for another 1:36. Here's Morin behind the net for St. John. He'll leave it, and it's Villain skating up the wall for Chartron. Chartron will come in over center. He'll move the puck along the wall. Gendron gets the puck to Jettleson. He lost it. Crayer's got it behind the net for Chartron, who has a goal in tonight's game. Chartron, top right circle. Drops it back for Villain. Villain, a shot. Puck goes over the net. Chasing after it's Kupek. Kupek rims it along the boards. Jumping into the play is Chartron. Chartron back to the point for Villain. He'll send it over as Morin holding. Morin moves it back to Villain, who tried to make the play to Chartron, and Chartron couldn't hold the line. 54 seconds remaining now in the St. John power play. Jettleson wires it down the ice. Robinson out of the net to play it. And it'll come behind the net there for Villain. 7:42 left in the period. 37 seconds left in the St. John power play. Eagles trail 5-3. Dubé and Wasper got assists on the Beaulieu-Go. Duhamel and Grew getting assists on the Rossi goal. As puck comes now to Rossi for Donovan. Donovan coming up the right wing. Villain battling there with Roman Letaliak. Keeps the puck in, does Villain. 16 seconds left here in the St. John power play. Murnix for Villain. He'll tee it up. Oh, great shot block there by Letaliak. Donovan back to Villain. Villain has the puck. 18 seconds left. Sea Dogs power play. 8 seconds left, pardon me. Puck comes out the other way. Here's a chance for the Eagles. Chasing after, it's Hartland. Hartland skating up the wall. However, we have a bit of a problem here. The Eagles, they don't have anybody in the box serving the penalty to Brody. Del Durante scores! It doesn't matter! Eagles score! And it's a 5-4 game! The Eagles with an unofficial shorthanded goal from Jacob Del Durante. Oh boy, you can write a book about this game. I was waiting. Who's coming out of the box? Nobody, and it doesn't matter. Del Durante with a goal for the Eagles, and it's a 5-4 score. His second of the season. And the Eagles don't have to worry about putting somebody in the box to serve that penalty after all. Face-off will come at center. Draw won by the Sea Dogs, and not a lot of whistles in the last 2.5 minutes, so there wasn't a chance to get somebody in there to serve the penalty, but it didn't matter. Puck comes back now to Klaus. Klaus coming in along the left side. Crayer down the wall. Now Jettleson will take possession. Jettleson will move it along the wall for Soche. 5-4 the score here in favor of St. John. What's been an eventful game to say the least. Here's Klaus cutting into the net. A shot! Looking for that hat-trick. Puck goes wide of the goal. Dubé rims it along the boards. Puck will come all the way down the ice. Chasing after, it's Jettleson. Jettleson now with it. Sends it over to Kupek. Kupek will move the puck. It's turned over. Dubé. Now it comes to Romeo on the left side. Lost it to Beveridge. Beveridge lost the puck to Romeo. Now Kupek will send it over to Deladurante. Now to Robinson. Deladurante, the unofficial shorthanded goal to make it 5-4. As Baldwin will come in over center over the blue line into the Eagles zone. He'll throw it to the front of the net. Goes off a skate. Puck comes down to Morin. Morin has it on the half boards. He'll move the puck there for Murnix. Turned over as Rocca will skate over the blue line into the St. John zone. Rocca and Chartrand. Puck comes back now to McCullough. Mixing it up with Chartrand. Puck comes back around. Now Guinness will jump into the play. Remember, the Eagles down to 5D without Jack Brody. Seeing all kinds of Jack Guinness in key situations here as puck comes down to Chartrand for Baldwin. Baldwin drops it back for Chartrand. He'll fire the puck out to Grew. Now into the Eagles zone it goes. Behind the net. Here's Guinness. He'll skate up the left side. 5:08 left. Eagles trail 5-4. And the play is offside. 5:04 to go. The Eagles trail by 1. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Jacob. Jacob Deladurante and the Eagles trail 5-4 in what has been a topsy-turvy third period, to say the least. No assist on the Deladurante goal. Let's rewind here. It was 3-3 heading into the third. St. John made it 4-3. Then a wild sequence saw Brody and Fullerton get 5-minute majors for fighting. 2 to Fullerton for instigating. 5 to Brody for interference. St. John scored on the power play, but then the Eagles scored after the power play was over. 5-4 the score. Eagles take possession. Jettleson moves the puck there at 2. Kupek now. Gendron will thread it to Roman Letalien. Wasmer's got it. He'll send it along the wall. It'll come all the way down the ice. And that will be icing against the Eagles with 4:40 against the Sea Dogs, excuse me. Getting hard to keep track of everything here. 4:44 left. In the third period, the Sea Dogs with a 5-4 lead as the Eagles trail by 1, but still 4:44 left. And as we've seen, goals are coming fast and furious in this one. Face off to the left here of Robinson. Grew will take the draw against Gendron. 5-4 the score in favor of St. John. Draw one by the Eagles. Puck comes back to Jettleson. Jettleson in the right circle. Shooting. Blocker save. Puck comes back to Jettleson again. He lost it. Duhamel now for Beveridge. Beveridge coming in over center. Dumping it into the Eagles zone. And the play blown down. 4:32 remaining here in period at number 3. It is a 5-4 score in favor of the Sea Dogs. The Eagles still with some time, as the face-off will be to the right of the St. John goaltender. Soche will take the draw, as he will do so against Grew. As draw one cleanly by the Eagles. Romeo, a shot. It's blocked by Klaus, and he's feeling that. Obviously not intentionally blocked. Duhamel will move it along the wall as Klaus has got it on the half boards. Now Duhamel takes possession. Duhamel lost the puck to Soche. Soche for Romeo. Wasmer now with it for St. John. He's being pressured. Lost the puck to Klaus. Here's Soche for Klaus. A sharp angle shot wide of the net. Soche now with it for the Eagles. Soche into the boards by Wasmer. Now Klaus takes possession. Klaus will be pressed by Grew. Puck comes back to the half boards for Deladurante. Deladurante lost it. Now Beveridge will move it along the right side. Puck comes back to Jettleson. 3:49 remaining here in the third. The Eagles trail 5-4. Close. It's a game where both teams have trailed by 2 goals, but it's a 1-goal game right now with under 4 to go in the third. Puck comes back deep into the Eagles zone, chasing after it's Murnix trying to throw it to the front. Della Durante grabs a hold of him. Sea Dogs demanding a penalty. They're not going to get one. Puck goes the other way. Here's Hartland up the left wing. Hartland a shot, a glove grab there by Robinson. He'll cover for a face-off. 5-4 St. John, 3:24 left in the third period. A game that has seen a major penalty given after a review, a goal called back after a review, a goaltending change after a goal that didn't end up counting. We've seen a little bit of everything tonight. Right now we're going to see an Eagles timeout. We'll take one as well. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200 where the Eagles trail 5-4 to the Sea Dogs. Josh Dubinsky's got the whiteboard out. He's going to try to diagram a play to get a tying goal. Sea Dogs trailed 3-1, tied the game late in the third. Early in the third, they tied the game late in the second. Early in the third, they moved ahead 4-3. Added to the lead on a major penalty. Eagles didn't have anybody in the box serving the penalty, but it didn't matter. They scored an unofficial shorthanded goal, and it's 5-4. And with 3:24 left in a 1-goal game, Felix Hamel is out of the net. The Eagles very aggressive here, pulling the goaltender in a 1-goal game with almost 3.5 minutes to go. Oh boy, what else are we going to see here tonight? Eagles win the draw. Soche will send it to Roman Letalien. Back for McCullough. McCullough shot. Now Soche has it. He'll make a pass across for Letalien. A great play by Donovan to get in the lane. Now Letalien will move it down the wall for Romeo. Romeo has it. He'll send it back towards Donovan. Donovan moves the puck there for Morin, who's faced with the empty net. He'll turn and fire. Not able to get it on goal, though. He had gained center, though, so no icing on the play. 3 minutes left. Eagles trail by a goal, and the net is empty. Klaus will skate up the ice over center into the St. John zone. He'll fire it off the end wall. Villain battling with Close. Seen a lot of Adam Close tonight. Romeo has it now. He'll cycle it back. Looks for Soche on the other half wall. 2:42 left in the third. 5-4 St. John. Eagles with the net empty. Here's Jean Ross. Short feed. McCullough down the wall there for Klaus. Here's Roman Letalien with it. Back for Jean Ross for McCullough. McCullough moves the puck to Close. Close for McCullough. Back to Klaus again. Klaus a shot. Tip. Romeo is in front. Ends up going wide of the goal. Puck comes back now into neutral territory. Morin looking at the open net again. Wow, what a play by Soche to get back. Roman Letalien with it. 2:13 remaining here in the third. Puck comes back to Soche in neutral territory. He'll send it back to Jean Draw. The one thing about calling that timeout early is it'll be harder for the Eagles to ride their top guys. Sometimes you'll see the coaches wait a bit for that reason. Of course, there are pros and cons. The earlier you call the timeout, the more time you have to strategize. Here's Grew coming up the right side. He'll take a swing at the open net. Goes wide of the net. Now Della Durante. He'll move the puck to Burke. Burke couldn't hold it. 1:48 left in the third. Eagles need to get it into their own zone. Pilling will send the puck to Hartland. Hartland for Pilling. Pilling coming in. Lost the puck. Comes back to neutral territory. Della Durante for Gentleson. 1:37 left in the third. The Eagles trail 5-4. The net is empty. Zubak lost the puck to Pilling. Pilling on the attack. Puck comes down to Burke. Burke battling. Puck glued to the end boards. 1:24 left in a 1-goal game. The Eagles trailing. Puck comes back out to neutral territory. It could be a 2-on-1 here for St. John. Della Durante trying to get to it first. Della Durante dives, but he can't stop Beaulieu, and he is going to score. Boy, Jacob Della Durante did absolutely everything to get the Eagles back into this game. Scored the goal to make it 5-4, faced with a 2-on-1. And ordinarily, as a defenseman, if you're faced with a 2-on-1, you take the pass. But if it's a 2-on-1 on an open net, you got to go after the puck. And he did a pretty good job getting the original puck handler, but couldn't stop the pass. And it's Beaulieu that is putting it in net. And just an absolutely wild third period. And the Eagles find themselves down now 6-4. As the draw won by the Eagles. And the way the game unfolded, you can't really say the decision to pull the goaltender early was a bad one. The Eagles had some chances. Here's Jean Ross skating up the left wing. He'll bring it in, short feed there for Romeo. Now Roman Letalien dangling, holding, pass across, save made. Eagles still pushing here. Net's empty again. Soche with it. Lost the puck. There's a shot by Dubé. Dubé will fire towards the open net, and it's just wide of the goal. 46 seconds left. Here's Beveridge trying to shoot at the open net. No luck for him. Now Krayer battling for it. Dubé trying to jab at the Krayer. Here's Klaus with it for the Eagles. He'll move the puck there to McCullough, sending it over there for Gendron. Baldwin will chip the puck forward, then he'll skate into the zone, try to get the empty net. McCullough will block it. 26 seconds left. The Eagles really need something to happen here. Gendron will move it into the St. John zone. Baldwin will push it along the right wing. Now Soche will play it, but the play blown down on a glove pass by the Eagles. I want to say hello to Edie Larusek, tuned in tonight. Hopefully Edie's feeling better. Not able to make the game tonight. Missing a crazy game, although it looks like the Eagles are going to come up on the short end. Though to Matt Chappell and Ryan Butler in St. John, I think they're probably enjoying this game. And boy, this has just been so many tales you could tell from this one. Draw one by the Eagles. Chartron will take possession. He'll move the puck up for Murnix. And play blown down, and that is going to be icing, I think, against St. John with 6.4 seconds left. As Felix Amel never actually did get back into the Eagles' goal. So the Eagles, a 6-on-5 here with 6.4 seconds. They really need to do something miraculous here to try to come back to win the game. Puck will come back to Ginnish. He can't get his clear shot on it, and that is going to do it. And what an unbelievable hockey game tonight at Center 200. And it is going to be a 6-4 victory for the St. John Sea Dogs in a game that saw all the twists and turns you could envision. But ultimately it is going to go in the favor of the visitors tonight. The Sea Dogs get a 6-4 win. As we will take a break and continue on. We'll give you the period summary when we come back. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Wow.
Podcast. Yes, what was it? Podcast. I do listen to podcasts. Let me look. I'm on the phone right now.
Okay.
Expert on the internet, 24 hours. We're going to get back to it.
Back here at Center 200 where the Eagles fall by a score of 6-4 to the St. John Sea Dogs. Let's take a look at what went on in the third period. It was a 3-3 game heading into the third. And the Sea Dogs would take the lead as it was Jacob Beaulieu's first of the season from Elliot Dubé and Julian Wasmer at 6:36. And then the Sea Dogs would add to that lead Dylan Rossi's seventh of the season from Olivier Duhamel and Olivier Groux at 10:28. That made it a 5-3 score. That was on the power play. Then the Eagles would score Jacob Deladurante's second of the season from Roman Letalien, a goal in which the Eagles only had 4 skaters on the ice, but it wasn't technically a shorthanded goal because they didn't have anybody in the box serving the major penalty. No matter, they scored anyway. That's what made it 5-4, and then Jacob Beaulieu would score his second of the game into an empty net from Dylan Rossi and Olivier Duhamel. 18:45 gave St. John a 6-4 lead, and that was it for the scoring as the Sea Dogs defeat the Eagles 6-4. A crazy game tonight at Center 200. The Eagles do come up short tonight at the Nest. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.
man.